want to do it, record on the Zoom and
Oh,
then recording here on the Roadcaster now. All right. Welcome back to Ascension, your guide to seven-figure sales. I'm your host, Brandon Nye, and today we've got an awesome episode. I'm really excited. Been looking forward to doing this one for quite some time. One of the more popular episodes is that we recorded in the past was what's better, to be a product expert or a people expert? And in that episode, I went in and talked about my trainings at Upgrade and neuro-linguistic programming. And from that, I got a ton of inquiries. A lot of people asking, reaching out, what books to read, what podcasts to listen to, what courses to join. And I reached out to my friend Michael, who is the business director the director of business development at Upgrade, and who's been through all the trainings and is the engine behind growing that company, and asked him to join me here on Ascension. So we're joined by Michael Mahoney. Welcome to the show.
good to
Thanks
see you,
for
my
coming
friend.
on. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
appreciate
too.
you having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is cool. Michael and I have we were involved in some other endeavors, Upgrade Partners Capital and our real estate company, and we've been on a journey together over the past year and couple years or so, and it's been cool to see everything develop with Upgrade and with your life, and for you to be a part of my ascension. So it's sweet, dude.
I know, man. I appreciate it. It's been a journey. We've both been going through some awesome changes, positive ones, right? And
Totally.
I feel like we've been mirrors for each other, and
Yeah,
us being able to jump into, our real estate ventures together, and at the same time just getting to watch your success. And I know you're watching Upgrade, so I'm glad we're
absolutely.
doing this podcast together. It feels like a good time to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, 2023 right around the corner. Everybody's probably thinking about their New Year's resolutions or their 2023 goals. And I think that this episode will help them to maybe they find that they achieve their goals faster if they get involved and really take to heart this message. So um, let's demystify NLP. What is NLP? How does it differ from Upgrade? Is Upgrade NLP? What is it like, to help the audience kind of understand neuro-linguistic programming and all that's involved in it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to give you my opinion on it.
Sure.
Um, and maybe giving you some credentials just so people know my background.
Yeah.
Uh, Master NLP trained, and going for my trainer's trainer. I am trainer's trainer certified underneath Upgrade, William Lamb, who's the founder of that. So just so people know who other are out there and are certified as well, that's my credentials to speak upon it, right? Not some guy who's just Googled or Wikipedia it.
Right.
Um, do work for a company, and the founder of the company is a master trainer's trainer. So I think there's only maybe 1 out of 40 or 50 people in the whole world with the title that William has, William Lamb.
Wow.
So if someone wanted to look up Upgrade and look up his credentials, that's what you'd be able to find, right? Um, so I'll give you my opinion of what I think NLP is. It's pretty simple. It's mental programming, right?
Right.
The language we use does not simply just describe our world, but it can define our reality. And everything we experience is not really reality. It's the projection of what we perceive of our operating system, what's going on at the time. So whatever I perceive within my mind is my definition of reality, is your definition of reality, is someone else's definition of reality, right?
Totally.
So it may not be the reality that's going on outside. That's why when, let's take right now, for example, right? Where there's in the marketplace, there's some turbulence going on, right?
Sure.
And in real estate, we can say at times there's turbulence going on or anything like that. Is that true? Or is it just the collective opinions of a bunch of people who have gotten together and said, this is the way it is, right? Might
Sure.
be a little mixture of both. I'm not going to say either way. What I will say is that NLP helps us begin to break down the codings of someone's language and see how it got there, the beliefs behind it. So, big picture, that's my opinion of what NLP has. Um, and what Upgrade is, I would say we are only about 20% NLP, if I had to
Okay.
say that. Um, William does have the foundation of that. Myself had the foundation of that. What he has pushed upgrade to becoming is far beyond that. And I know that, and you probably know this as well, because obviously you've been through our highest level trainings to Upgrade X, and we have other clients who pay, $100,000 plus to be in our Upgrade X communities, right? Um,
Absolutely.
if you look across the NLP industry, if you look at other practitioners out there, they're not charging those prices, right?
Right.
They're just simply not. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into that, right? Economics, how long have they been practicing? How good are they at running a business? And a lot of your listeners are probably smart, intelligent business owners themselves, right? They're good at
Sure.
sales. They understand that those do go play into a factor. Um, so at the same time, though, is the quality of the value being provided. Warren Buffett said it beautifully, like price is what you pay, value is what you get, right?
Sure. Totally. Yeah. No,
William has William has developed something that's much more than just NLP with Upgrade.
yeah. No, and one of the first, experiences with Upgrade. So I came out, did Upgrade A, and that's really where you kind of learn the power of words and what their meanings are behind them. And so as a salesperson, I felt like I was pretty good at reading people prior to Upgrade. And then going through Upgrade, it's like, oh, I had no idea, the complexity behind what words mean, what people and all the nonverbal things that their people are really communicating to you by either the words they don't use, their body language, so much of it. And that has been put into practice right away from a sales environment or sales perspective. And it has been an absolute game changer for me to be
Mm.
able to read a buyer and to know where they are. How sold are they? Right. They're going to communicate that to you. And most of the time it's not going to be like, hey, Michael, I'm really sold. I'm ready to buy. It's going to be by what they don't say, by the way that they use their body, by their tonality, by, so many different things. Even the way they text you or respond to your text is going to give you indicators on, where they are in the process and like, if they're there or not, and I think that's one of the cool parts about Upgrade is it really breaks down and makes that process of, being able to read someone like at an intricate level. And that's just huge, massive ROI for me, just from a sales perspective. But that's like only scratching the surface in terms of what I've learned there. Um, one of the huge thing, I would say another big thing, and I know that a lot of people in the Upgrade community, which by the way, the Upgrade community is like it's an awesome place where there's 9-figure, business owners in there that are, like changing the world. And it's the ability to put yourself in an environment where people are really, like-minded, that are high achievers, that really want to, be the best versions of themselves. That has been also something that it's really hard to put a value on that, on how important and that is to go to the next level. It's like that. It's like by association or osmosis. Like if you can get into the room or be involved in a community where people are thinking at a much higher level and vibrating at a much higher level, it's just like you get pulled along with it. And I think that that's been, one of the other things that it's just so hard to put like a tangible, hey, that alone's worth 100K or whatever. And just seeing
Mm.
like the quality of people that have come on board, even 2 years, 3 years after I've joined, it's just so cool. Like these are big name people. These are like legit huge influencers, big people in business that are, running big businesses, exiting huge companies, and that are now on board with Upgrade because they, even them, worth 100, 200, $300 million are like, hey, I still want help, with mental programming. I want to have less resistance in my life. I want to achieve things faster. So
Mm.
that's been cool to see and witness. So
Yeah, immersing, as you said, that our neurology is saturated by our environment, right? What we take in through our five senses. And we have that decision, we have that choice of what information goes through our five senses into our neurology. When
Sure.
you're in that environment where there are people who are making 6 figures a month, 7 figures annually, 8 figures annually, 9 figures annually, your neurology just naturally must upgrade because
Yep.
you're hearing what they're doing, you're seeing what they're doing, you're noticing how they think, how their behaviors. And if everyone in that room is also upgrading their mental programming because they've made that choice, it's like, man, I'm going to naturally ascend my mind better. Right. I think that's
Absolutely.
one of the coolest things that William has developed, and John Matson too, William's partner with Upgrade X. Got to give a shout out there because you've been through Superhuman, and
Yeah,
Upgrade X would not be what it's at without John's help and
for
Superhuman
sure.
team help. Um, I think even if someone is super successful, right? Because you yourself, you're doing very well, and before we met you, you were doing very well, right? And we have had other clients who are doing super well too financially. I think what most people are looking for is how do you get better at making decisions faster with more congruency and to feel that feeling of, yes, this is the right decision for me. Right. And Upgrade has been able to come up with specific formulas to help decode old programs that used to hold us back. And wherever these programs came from, we don't know, like caretaker, society, school systems, we don't really care. As the
Right.
mental programmers, it's not our job to judge good or bad, right or wrong with the data. It's simply to reflect on the data and improve the programs. And I think Williams developed something that's truly unique. As you said, we have some very, very well successful business owners who are now putting eyes and joining the Upgrade X community. And I am allowed to say this publicly now because this person is coming. Um, Taylor Welch, if your listeners do know Taylor Welch, he's going
Yeah.
to be one of our new featured speakers at Upgrade Light in January. Taylor met myself, William, and another team member about a month ago in Nashville. We went and had dinner with Taylor, and he put out, well, after it was like a 5 hour dinner with Taylor too. Awesome,
Yeah.
genuine guy, right? Um, I would say that I've followed Taylor for longer than I've known actually William, and I've never
Yep.
seen Taylor do a post like he did on Facebook after meeting William. Now, I
That's
might be
cool.
biased because I now work for the guy, William, right?
Yeah.
However, the post I believe was super genuine of what Taylor did, and he sees the power of what Upgrade can become. So you're right. There's something going on with Upgrade that I believe is going to help a lot of us, and that's William's mission. That's Upgrade's mission to help upgrade humanity.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I saw you on Instagram when you guys were having dinner, I was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to talk to Michael and see how that conversation, what that was like." Because, like you, I've been following Taylor for a long time, and
He's a stud.
just this really smart dude. Obviously, an excellent communicator. Business, family, all of it. He's put together, so it's cool to have him in the Upgrade community. Um, so for the listeners, like I'm sure people are curious. They've heard these big numbers, $100,000, this, that. Like that's not where everybody has to start, right? There's different places to start with Upgrade. What is a traditional path, or not? I don't even want to presuppose traditional, but what's a path that people can get involved with Upgrade, and get started.
Yeah. So it's good that you reframed and said traditional, right? Because everyone's going to come from, as we know, different models of the world. Um, we always say your goals should justify the investment you're going to make into yourself, right?
Right.
Plenty of business owners can get behind that. If you put 30K into a program and we make zero financial guarantees, just got to say that right now, right? However, we can get very precise with what our clients are usually making ROI in a few months into 12 months. John Matson, for example, founder of Upgrade X, was making around 25K a month revenue gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, wasn't paying too much because he had business expenses. Some beginner entrepreneurs know that feeling. And his story, you can hear on a podcast of Upgrade 2. He tells his story very, eloquently and clearly too. In 5 months' time of going from 25K a month to working with William, he was over 100K a month, right?
Yep.
30 months later, he's business partner with William and he's making around 618 month, $618,000 a month. So if you had told John 3 years ago, 40K investment to now making $618,000 a month, I think he'd do that deal 100 times out of 100. Right.
Totally. Yeah. No question.
And we have
No
other
question.
clients doing similar to that. So your goal should justify the investment. Do we have entry level programs that start $100? We do. Awesome place. If you're just getting started, you're not sure of who we are and you want to get to know about us, we have a free podcast too, right?
Right.
$100 training, you can jump in that. We have a $4,000 training. We have mid-tier level training, so they can check out our website, our programs. I want to know what someone's level of investment is they believe into themselves. Because
Right.
William said it very well once when we're actually about to bring on a new client. And this client worked in the private equity world. He was making, I think, around 2.5 million annually at the time. And at the time, it was around the same that William was making, and it was more than I was making, right?
Yep.
So he literally said, he's like, what can you guys teach me? Like, what can I learn from you guys financially? And William said, hey, man, if you want to know about financial investments, you want to know about, how to you got buddies like that. You got buddies in the private sector. That's not what we're here for. If you believe you have infinite potential in yourself and you believe that you can unlock that with mental programming, we're the guys for you. We're the mental programmers. And in 18 months' time, he netted a private equity deal that's going to pay him around $500 million over the next 10 years aggregated, right?
Wow.
So I think that's, again, he paid William private coaching. So,
Sure.
and the private coaching with William does start at $250,000. It's gone up since then.
Right.
But I still think that's an investment that he would do again. Right.
Totally.
So it's got to be where you're at in your life and what level of investment you're ready for to make it into yourself.
Yeah. Just for my audience and my listeners, like, when I first heard, the pricing 30 grand, I was like, wow, that seems steep. Do I know these guys? I definitely had to vet out and feel good about, who I was investing with. But then as soon as I did it, literally it doubled my income. But that's not really the whole like big picture of it. It's like the certainty that comes along with it when you invest into yourself and increase your identity and you get aligned. That in itself, like when I set a goal now, it's 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 a future, there's a future reward attached to it. So it's not even it's so many times now that because of Upgrade and because of the way that I've been trained through this program and through William and yourself, it's there's this level of certainty that I really, I really, really appreciate. And, that is another one thing that I would say is super hard to put an ROI to. So I went to Upgrade Part A. I was like, went through, I remember leaving and being like, my life is forever changed. Like there's a new operating system installed into my brain, old beliefs let go, this new sense of like purpose and alignment. And then immediately signed up for Part B, like within months. And I'm looking to do more trainings. And that's it's such a freeing thing to give yourself that gift of, hey, you're worth it. Make the investment into upgrading your operating system for the rest of your life. That's
Mm.
these skills are built in. So no matter what happens with the markets, that certainty is that it's so priceless. So
And I'm glad you brought up the identity part
yeah,
because that's one of the main things that I've always really appreciated with William ever since the guy I met him. He You've been through our focus training, right? And maybe
sure.
some of your listeners have. We have, and for anyone who hasn't yet, I'm just going to give a brief overview. In the focus training, we ask you to design 100 material items, 100 experiences, and create a 90-year timeline. And some people might be like, well, I don't really care about material items, right?
Right. Right.
It's not matter to me. That's cool, right? We're not here to, again, there's no judgment about right or wrong, good or bad, anything like that. For us as the programmers, really it's just data points to help you begin to write the programs. The macro purpose behind it, though, and Williams always said this, is that it's not about the goals. It's about the person who can easily and effortlessly achieve any goal that they want because they've engineered their identity to do so congruently all the time. And
Mm,
that's such a massive feeling inside that you cannot put an intrinsic value on. Maybe some people can, but as you said, it's hard to quantify that. And for me, that's the same thing, right? I know that in any marketplace, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to be better than okay because
Right.
I just have this mental programming, that's operating system that moves at a faster speed than most people do. It's like I always love that saying. I felt like before I met Upgrade, I was a fish swimming in water, not realizing what there was water around me.
Right.
And now I not only see that there's water around me, but like I flow with the water much easily.
Yeah. That's so awesome. What so I'm super interested in Sales Guide, and that's a newer product of Upgrade. Can you give me the lowdown on it, and what someone like me may find if they join?
Yeah, be happy to. Um, First of all, William, when he said he wanted to call it Sales God, it's like, wow, okay, we're really going for
Sure.
it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
We already call our podcast God mode, so might as well just keep going with it. You call yourself, you have it called, of course, Sales God. You got to back it up, and of course, he does, right?
Sure.
Um, he's not a cocky guy. You know this about him, and he does it in such a way that his main question, and he doesn't mind me sharing this, is that he wants people to kind of wake up with that feeling, like if you were omnipresent, right? You were in, like, how would a god act like today? How good
Mhm.
could you be? How many people could you help? What kind of questions would you ask? Not just like, oh, am I going to make money today?
Right.
Because a god is just naturally going to assume that a closing easily is going to happen, right?
Mhm.
A god doesn't even have to worry about, am I going to make this money or not? Is this going to
Sure.
happen for me or not, right? A sales god is going to act in such a way that it's just going to be naturally congruent, that people are easily going to follow him or her in whatever line of work they're in. So to get to that point, there's going to be some applicable skills that we do teach in there. You touched on some of them earlier. Language. How do we use language? My model of the world is a little different than yours, a little different than my girlfriend or my parents, right?
Totally.
Every person that we talk to in a sales call is going to most likely have a different model of the world with their language. Where are they at in terms of geography, matching and mirroring, and posture? These are some NLP tactics that William has put a different spin on to have our clients get the kind of ROI they do. Again, this is, I haven't studied all practitioner businesses out there, but I
Sure.
know the market, and I know that we are the most expensive um, upgrade. Upgrade is the most expensive NLP based company out there for a reason. Our clients are getting certain results. So with Sales God, what someone who may be interested can expect is getting virtual training with us, where we go
Okay.
over some applicable skills, um, and then in-person training as well. We have one virtual training and then one in-person training. The in-person training is 4 days. It's very intensive, and it's intensive in a very easy way, but it challenges the unconscious mind, probably in situations that it's never done before.
Right.
For example, sometimes people, when they're doing a call, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my kids are in the background playing. Oh, the dog is barking." Right? We're intentionally putting a lot of stressful noises in the training as you're trying to do sales, as you're trying to present, on purpose. Because guys, life is never quiet like that, right?
Sure. Sure.
How many times you got on the call with a salesperson and they're like, or a potential client, and they're driving, service is crappy, who knows what noise is going in the background, right?
Right. Right.
Our purpose with this training, though, is what is your emotional state? What is your reaction to that? Because stress is the main thing that we care about. We want your mind to be able to respond to stress easily and effortlessly. So your emotional state is super resourceful and super flexible. So why not do it in a training where you can simulate the stress
Hmm.
and then know how to respond better in this situation when it comes up? So later on, and I've been guilty of this before too, and like, oh, that person just wasn't listening.
Yep.
Oh, they're so and so was in the background yelling, right? What if you can simulate that in a training environment, and you go back to the real world, and now you're just nice and cool and you close no matter what?
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, that emotional state part is so true. Like that's where so many reps just lose their grounding, and you know they get off. They lose their focus because their emotional state shifts, or things get stressful, or the customer says something that triggers something, and then it's like the deal's lost, or the conversation moves in a direction that it shouldn't have. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah,
And I'm
I could
guilty of
totally
it
see it.
too. Before upgrade, and even during in the beginning of upgrade, hey, I did it too, right? It's still a process to master our emotional state. However, the people who close and collect the most are the ones who are the most resourceful with their emotional state.
Yep, totally. Um, so if I think that the audience sort of has an idea of what the conscious mind and unconscious mind, because we've talked about it a little bit, but from your perspective, being, as highly trained as you are, can you kind of teach the audience of like unconscious mind, conscious mind, how that plays into all of this and why we focus on it so much?
Oh, how long are we going to do this episode for?
Yeah,
I will
let's
try
do
to
the abbreviated version, I
try
guess.
to do the quickest short version I can.
Yeah.
Um, we do say this in our training. The quickest version I can give is that the conscious mind is the captain, the unconscious mind is the crew. The crew is super powerful and it will get you to where you want to go, but the captain has to be massively congruent and clear about how they want to get there. And the more that the captain actually bothers the crew with those how questions, and I've been guilty of it myself too, and I'm sure some listeners may feel this, right? When you begin to go, oh, how is it going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
How is it going to be like that? How is it going to be like that? Right? The unconscious mind, all of our unconscious mind are way more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. If you can become so massively congruent as the captain of the ship, plus maybe have some mental training, which helps you deprogram some old programs that have negative emotions towards it, some old limiting beliefs or limiting decisions. When those are aligned, that's when congruency happens. Because too often people are like, oh, you just need discipline, you need more willpower. And we say this a lot. If you need more discipline or willpower, your conscious and your unconscious mind are not aligned. They are not
Yes.
congruent of what they want.
Yeah. It's like when you're congruent, work doesn't feel like work. It's
Mm.
effortless. It's, just going about your day is there's just like less resistance and things just happen for you, like we've heard and said that before, but that's what being congruent is like, it's, you just see the world differently, and where opportunities were staring at you right in the face or right within your vision, you weren't able to see them before, but because now you've removed this resistance, you remove this old programming, you can see the world differently, hear the world differently, feel the world differently, and that's what gets you your results so much faster, and you're able to also challenge like your belief system a little bit when fear, anxiety, or scarcity or those sort of emotions come up. You have the tools in your toolkit to be able to address them and to say, hey, why am I feeling this? What would I like to feel instead? And what do I need to do in order to feel that way? And that simple resolution therapy or process is, I use it all the time, and it's so helpful in everything business, but really everything in life, relationships, children, parents, friends, all that sort of stuff. So upgrade's not just, how do you go out and make more money? It's like, how do you live a better life? And I could say with all sincerity, my marriage has gotten better. I'm a better father because of upgrade. I'm a better leader for sure, because of upgrade. And so for everybody that's out there that's curious about it and wants to dive in deeper, send me a DM. I'll connect you with Michael, and we can get you all your questions answered, all that sort of stuff, and we can find what's the right path for you. So if you're seeking the next version of yourself, it's you owe it to yourself to chase that person down and to see what your full potential is. Don't go through another year where you don't change, where it's just the same habits, same routines, and you're just trying to get through it with willpower or grind harder. That's not what this is about. This is about grinding less and getting your results even faster because you've upgraded your operating system. And I think that's what I really want to communicate to everybody is it's possible. It's not voodoo. This is real stuff, real results, real people that are doing this. And the word is spreading quickly and this community is growing rapidly. And, I would say stress everyone, get involved um, and upgrade your life, man. So
Yeah, that was awesomely said. I mean, it's like you said, people do ask about you. I'm glad you started with demystifying NLP. This, this is nothing crazy.
right.
Neuroscience, we know what neuroscience is. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to is Dr. Andrew Huberman. Maybe you know about him. Maybe some listeners know about him. Stanford professor, talks about neuroscience all the time. Guys, that's just literally what we're doing. Upgrade is leveraging the power of the unconscious mind to make it easier for yourself. We're coming up on 2023. This is mid-December. You were talking about resolutions, right, Brandon?
Yep.
For anyone out there, I'll give a little hint. If you're looking at resolutions and maybe you have a negative emotion attached to it, right? Because I used to have that as well. Maybe it's because you're looking at it as a goal, and in your mind you have a label of a goal, and in the past maybe you haven't hit or achieve a goal, so now you have that negative emotion attached to just the word goal overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you come up with resolutions and maybe you think, well, what's the purpose, right? Why would I set this goal again? Or why would I set a new goal? I haven't attached it before in the past. That simple label can be deprogrammed and you can install a new emotion towards it. It's very simple. We do it all the time with clients. Though you were talking about the resolution formula earlier, right?
Right.
I mean, this is not a viewing podcast. If it was, I would show my phone because this client is completely fine with me sharing the story. Just a week ago, they got out of Sales God. They loved the training. They told me in the training, in a sales call, client said something, it triggered them, right? In their mind, they took a deep breath, they used resolution formula, they got into a better state, and then they closed the deal. And now they're going to get, I think it was like $117,000 commission over the next 3 months on it. And that I was
Nice.
like, dude, that's what's up, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he paid $20,000 for our training. Again,
Yep.
this is not about money, but if you pay $20,000 and on one sale you're going to make 117, I think the ROI is there. But even what's more happy for this guy, and he's a younger dude, he's only 26, he's going to have that skill for the rest of his life,
Yeah. I
right?
was just going to say, think about what that means for the rest of his life to be able to carry that through, you know, let's even not to be negative, but let's say somebody stalls on getting better, stalls on investing in themselves, stalls on, like every year that you stay the same is you're stealing from yourself, and that's what I would challenge people that are right on the edge right now. The people that are like, should I make an investment? What should I do next? I don't want to be the same version of myself come the end of 2023. Take action, take action, hit me up. I can connect you with Michael. What's the best way to get a hold of you for our listeners and for people who want to take action right now?
Nowadays, it's going to be to book actually through our public calendar, just
Okay.
because we are growing and we're we're just taking on different avenues. Like if I'm on this podcast, would obviously love to talk to everyone. However, it's getting to the point where I can't, right? So
Sure.
our Instagram is at the upgrade, and upgrade spelled UPGRD, so no A or E, just at the upgrade. In there, there's a bio. Click on the link. You can check out our entry level trainings, our website, our podcast. Our podcast is called God Mode. One word: win or win bigger. I would say those are the best ways to check us out and schedule a time to chat with me or someone else on our team too.
Awesome. And I'll have Bryce put these in the show notes so that the listeners can go to the show notes and find the links for the Instagram and get on the calendar and schedule a call. Um, Man, Michael, I appreciate you coming on to Ascension and kind of walking us through what Upgrade is and NLP and I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
Appreciate
you
you as a
too, my
friend
friend.
and as a leader
Yeah,
and everything. So
we appreciate
2023
you.
is going to be big.
It is, my friend. We appreciate you doing this. I mean, when I joined Upgrade, it was more about helping spread the mission, right? As you said, it was something like this is more than money. So I'm super grateful that you're out there and just sharing your experience and helping your friends, your family, and everyone in the community. Because I know you're a leader, dude. You're doing awesome things with all the knowledge too.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Cool. All right,
Awesome,
man.
man.